Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to just give it literally a minute, just in case anyone's looking for the link, and then we'll start like at 1 minute past, 2 minutes past, because I'm just letting some more people in. So many of you signed up, which was so lovely, but I was like, oh, this is what people want. This is good. So there's 180 people signed up, some in different time zones. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. Okay. I'll put captions on, if that's helpful. For folks, oh, it's French. There must be someone French here. Hello. Okay. Good, good. So as we're all arriving, if you are currently writing on Substack, would you like to put your Substack URL in the chat so you can all connect with each other? If you're not, why don't you pop your Instagram in? So if anybody is on Instagram and wants to find each other after, then they can do. That would be amazing. What I'll do is I'll put my Substack teaching space in there. That's Sparkle on Substack. And that's in there. Okay. Okay. Participants, just making sure. Yeah, here we go. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I'll get started. So welcome, I'm Claire. This is the mini masterclass that I've called Let's Just Write and Send a Newsletter on Substack, because since I joined, Substack has become a wonderfully rich platform, and also a very confusing platform for a lot of people that just want to send an email and want to grow that email list. So I thought I'm just going to teach the 4 things that I used to do before it became such a mixed media space for me and a teaching space. I'm going to teach you guys that. So if you want to hone in on that and you want to focus on doing that you can. If any of you are writing emails on other platforms, so for example, MailChimp or Flowdesk, ConvertKit, they have specific filter and tag systems that are quite different. They're kind of more geared up for sales. Substack isn't a sales newsletter platform, but it is a newsletter platform. It's a new engine for culture. That's how Substack describe it. And lots of writers came over when they first launched in 2017, and now we've found lots more creatives on there, videographers, podcasters. It can do lots and lots of things, and I'm not going to overwhelm you with all those things today. I do talk about more of them in another masterclass that you get for free when you subscribe. So it's a free subscription to Sparkle, and you get this other masterclass that I've just re-recorded in March. So there's more about what Substack is as a platform, but this is just looking at what we can do in terms of just emailing people. So a little bit of background around when I first started sending a mailing list. I used to send a mailing list called Notes from the Sea. I sent it from 2017 right up to just recently, and I just felt this huge call to stop or pause or something, and so I gave myself permission. I sent it every single month. When I was on maternity leave, I think I sent it once a season, but it went out every single month, and it was based on the concept, we live on the Northumberland Coast, so it was based on the concept of things that were happening within my work life, within family life here from the Northumberland Coast in the UK. So I always had something to write about, and over the process of sitting down to write that email for all of those years before I moved it to Substack, I'd really honed a confidence with my writing voice. There was only, by the time I moved it to Substack, there was only 350 people on that list. But it felt like a place to write long form. It felt like a place where I could tell people more about my work projects. I could be more honest than perhaps I was on social media. I felt like I could be a bit more vulnerable in those Notes from the Sea, and I often was. So it was a really nice place to kind of cut my teeth on what a newsletter could be, and taking up space in that way. I definitely had imposter syndrome when I started, you know, that whole like, well, who am I to send a newsletter? Who's going to care what I'm up to in my creative producer work? But people did, and people signed up, and it was a really nice place to come to the laptop every week, and just kind of jot a few things down. I built it up over the month, and then by the time it was around about the start of the month that I sent it, and I was always very loose with that. I said it'll come between the 1st and the 5th, you know, whenever I can fit it into my working week. So it was a big permission slip to just write and to weave in some nice photography from where we live, or some flowers, or whatever else that I felt like. And I felt like I really enjoyed doing it. I did make some sales through it. So when I had stuff to sell, I would mention it in there, and that was all fine. And I didn't really have many more expectations of that space. I was building a business. I've been freelance since 2008, so 16 years. And I was building a business alongside my freelance career. So I was really curious about what that newsletter could grow to be and what I would like to grow it to be. I've just hit 7,000 subscribers this weekend, built solely through Substack in the last 2 years. So it's just been mind blowing. Like, honestly, I sit here and I say that and I'm just like, that's an insane amount of people that want to read what I have to say. And of course, I don't just send newsletters now. I have blog posts and I have a teaching community and I have a membership as well. But primarily, I have those emails that I could move off Substack to any other platform and I could email them. And lots of writers and creatives do that as well. So yeah, that's been a real journey. And it fits with my creative producer work. It fits with my engagement consultant work. And I just absolutely love teaching about Substack and writing on Substack. I'm having a great time. So if you're just arriving, we're just sharing our Substack URL or our Instagram handle in the chat so you can all find each other afterwards, which is so, so lovely. Let me just check the waiting room because everybody's got 9 more people waiting to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've not done slides today because I don't want to baffle you too much. I'm just going to show you the Substack platform. I'm going to show you the 3 things that I've laid out that I want to show you, which is really about posting to Substack, creating a page, and also finding a way to email within the Substack stratosphere without it posting to the Substack website. So some of the things that I'm saying might just be a little bit mind-blowing, and that's okay. I'm going to walk you through it. I know everybody is meeting this masterclass from different places. Some people have been on Substack a while. Some people have only just heard of it. Others are feeling a bit overwhelmed and just want to take it back to basics. But that's what we're going to do. Before I do that, if you've got a notebook handy, if you can just take a page and just put spring, summer, autumn, winter and divide your page into 4, because I want you to have a little bit of a think about if you were to send a seasonal newsletter, and we're going to go seasonal rather than monthly, what you might have to say from each season from where you are in the world. So obviously I described a little bit about what I did from the Northumberland Coast. There was always stuff to write about, even if it's been like the longest winter ever, which it feels like it has now. There's always stuff to say if we draw on the seasons. That might not be your vibe, but it'll give you a bit of a framework to think, okay, like if I was going to say something, what would I say? So have that ready, and I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Hopefully that all works okay. Right, where are we going? There we go. Great. Okay. So this is my Substack teaching space, Sparkle on Substack. I'm just going to move that down there. So this is a whole website within Substack. And what happens when I write a post within Substack, I can choose whether I want to email it out or whether I want to post it here. So this is kind of like a blog within a website. So it can get emailed and then people can come and find it here on the website. There's also a Substack app. So lots of readers now opt to read in the app. So if somebody was looking for something that I'd just posted, they would just go to the archive here and they can see everything in date order. These are all the posts that I've made about teaching Substack. There's a lot to say. I also host my podcast here, so that's there. And then as we kind of go down, there's various different things, but these are all posts that I've made. These are all emails that I've written, if you like, and then I've decided to post them within an organized sort of section to Substack. So they're all there. So you get this when you set up a Substack. It's completely free and you can use it however you want to use it. So for some of you, you might be business owners, you might have a website already, you might have your social media, but you get to use this however you want to use it. So if you want to post, you can post here. If you want to add pages and they don't get emailed out, that's like a website page, you can do that too, and we'll come on to that. But this is my Substack education space. When we go over to my writer profile here, I just want to show you this because this is a little bit more like what it would look like in the app. So this is my writer profile. Here I am, Claire Venus. This little tick here, it's just a thing Substack do. It's bestseller, so I've got hundreds of paid subscribers. So that's what that means. If you see this verification tick, we've seen it on other platforms. It means something slightly different here. It means that we have paid switched on and we've reached 100 paid subscribers. And then there are some other tiers as well. And then just here, these are the other publications that I have. So I've mentioned Sparkle. this is what I came to Substack with. So in April 2022, I decided to start a blog here. So I very much thought of it as a blog. And it was called the same as my business, Creatively Conscious. And then this is a slow grow community for mums. And this is a client that I look after, Culture Northumberland. So these are all my publications, so separate publications. Substack don't recommend that you set up multiple publications, but I mean, I'm living proof. It's fine. You can. I don't actually teach you to, but I am a multi-hyphen. So this is how things go down in my world. So that's what that is there. Over on my website here, if you're looking for any further support with your Substack or any of my other classes and stuff, there's a whole website page built there, and I'll share that in the chat with you in a moment. When we come into the back office, so this is the back office of Substack. So we've seen the web page. This is where we go and we can click through all of the different things. There's a whole big, long, epic page of settings that just baffles people. They're like, when am I ever going to fill them all in? But don't worry, I've got a YouTube tutorial for you that you get for free when you sign up to Sparkle for free. So that's all there, and I can walk you through it all. We're going to spend some time in the subscribers tab here. If you've already got a Substack, then this will be familiar to you. So what I've had to do for data protection is I've just had to get myself here. So this is, I'm signed up with another email address to my Substack. And that means that I can email myself technically. But what you would see is you would see all of your subscribers in this part here, and then you would be able to just check that box and say, yes, I'm going to email them. When you use this feature, and I know for some of you on Substack, you'll be like, wow, I didn't know that was there. This emails them and it doesn't post to your website. So this is a great place if you've got a special offer. If you want to advertise something and you feel a bit icky posting it to everybody on Substack, it's a great place to share your coupons and that sort of thing. But also you can just send your emails from here if this is what you want to do. So once that's selected, you would just press this email button here, and then you're going to be in this space, which for those of you that do use Substack already, this is just our creation place for a post. So this has given us the option to write a title of the email, a subtitle. This is my writer name, so you can take that off, but I wouldn't advise that. People always need to know who it's coming from, really, otherwise they might get confused and unsubscribe. And then you can just literally start writing your email here. And you can do absolutely everything that you can do in the main version of Substack. So it's now flashed up here that I can send this email, which I'll not do, but that's literally all you do. You just go into that back office, into subscribers, and then you get the subscribers you want. For those of you that are already using Substack, just to mention that you can filter here. So it does give us some options of filtering. So circling back to what I said at the beginning about MailChimp and Flowdesk and all of those other things that if we're business owners, we're using some of that as well, or can we use it instead of? You've got to really work out if it's going to work for you in terms of your ecosystem, because on those mailing list providers, you'll be able to segment by somebody who's bought a certain type of product, for example, and you don't do that here. This is just, you can segment by free subscribers or, you know, the list that's there, paid, whatever else. So you could email your whole list, or you could segment a little bit, but it's not that same email software that we know and that you can pay for in other places. It's not built in that same way. It's a newsletter platform essentially. So it just wants you to send your newsletter out. It doesn't want you to sort of segment people that bought your teacup. So we've got that. We'll just put that title of email just so you can see how easy it is. And if you want to, this is fired up by Unsplash. So you can find lots of lovely images here and just pop them in. And then sign it off and everything else the way that you would. And then off it goes. It'll give you a little, are you sure? Let me show you, because I know everyone will be nervous at the button. Are you ready? That's what happens. Are you sure you want to send this email? I'll not, but you'll be ready and you can send it out, and it's not going to publish anywhere on your Substack website. So it's not going to go anywhere on here. This Substack URL, you set that up. So whatever you want to call that, whether you're going to call it your name or whether you're going to call it after you can call it Roses and Apple Blossom if you want. Literally call it anything you want, have fun with it. But this one's Sparkle On, and then obviously Substack, and then I've got the others. So that email is going to go off into the ether, and then you'll get all of the deliveries on it. You'll get the open rate, you'll get how many people read it, and you'll be able to see how many people click the links the same way that you would in a normal post. And we'll go into that just now. So yeah, it's a really simplistic way to just keep everything off the published Substack front page, if that makes sense to you. So that's the back office bit of it. And not many people know how to do it. I think they just presume it all has to go through this front office. So I wanted to share that with you. So we'll pause for a second because I'm going to check the chat and see who's here and stuff. But I'd love you to put either a yes or a no if you're already on Substack. So if you come in here and you're already writing on Substack, it'd be great to know. So if you just put a yes or a no in the chat, and then I'm going to take you back to the seasonal diagram of newsletters while I have a little look at the chat. Lots of yeses, some nos. Okay, this is good. This is what I thought. Yeah, given where people signed up from and stuff. Ready to publish my first post. Yay! So exciting. That was me 2 years ago. Now look at me. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's actually been really amazing for my writing craft, and I wasn't expecting that. So not to say that, I don't still send things out with typos in, and I don't still look at something and think I could have rewritten that a better way, but I definitely feel like the biggest impact for me has been on the craft of my writing. I feel like I read something and think, wow, like that's really good. I'm really proud of that. And I think even going back, I'm kind of proud of the journey that I've gone on. So I don't want to edit my past self, but that's relatively recent. I think a year ago, I was like, oh, I just want to go back and edit everything. It's awful. And now I'm like, oh no, like that's part of the journey. That's really important. So, okay, so on your seasonal diagram, let's just have a few minutes just to note down things that you might want to talk about in your newsletter. So say you were going to send a seasonal newsletter. What do you want to talk about? I always think it's good to just start with the questions. So how, why, what, how, why, where, when, what, and I'll put those in the chat and just see, because we're all going to have slightly different comfort levels around what we want to share publicly. I like to sort of over dramatize it and be like, well, I shared that with the whole internet. It's not the whole internet, but there is that element of feeling exposed and that element of risk of like, oh, I'm sending this out. How does that feel? And so I want you to do this exercise before I go into the more public place and show you the more public version of where it can go on Substack, because that's how we grow within the Substack network. So I do want to talk that through with you and show you that. But let's just do a little bit of blue sky thinking and see where you get to. I'll put these questions in. So who are you? What are you doing? Where are you? Why? And when. Just see if there's anything comes up. Just pick spring, say, or summer if you're more excited, or you might be in a slightly different hemisphere. I'm trying to work out the time zones. Anyway, see if anything comes up for you. And I'm going to just have a little read through the chat. Let's see. Well, I'll put my my web link in just there now as well, just in case anyone wants to grab that. Still learning. Yeah, I'm still learning. I've been here 2 years and I've been teaching Substack for a year now, and I'm still learning. There's so much to learn. There's so much to test and adjust and see what works and see what doesn't work so well. And the culture's changing all the time, as new people are coming and different things are introduced. It's really amazing. It's like a live social experiment, really, for me. Great. Okay. Lovely. So nice that you're all here. I love looking at all of these URLs. There you all are. This is so good. I'm going to introduce a 30-day challenge after this, which again is going to be free. So if you want to stay connected and if you want to work on something together, we can do that. It's quite nice to have people that you feel are in a similar boat, because sometimes it can just feel like everybody else got the memo before you did. So I really wanted to offer that today. Right, I'll give you a little minute to just finish that off and see what comes up for you. Okay, I'll just move us on, but obviously you can do this in your own time. I think sometimes to start paper-based before we open the laptop and a blank page with that little cursor just dancing at us can be really insightful just to see if there's anything on our minds. I used to do this and I used to kind of circle and then cross out things. So circle things that I thought, oh yeah, I think that would be interesting to start to chat about. Other things I'm like, I'm not quite ready to talk about that. Maybe I never will be. I don't know. So it can just give you that little bit of excavation of the subconscious to see what you're thinking about and your environment that you're in and what it is that you want to say. For me today, I've just been sitting with the kids for the first time since last summer in the fields. So we just took the picnic blanket and we were just sitting, and it was just so nice till they started falling out. But it was like, like, do I want to write about this? Do I want to write about how this feels? You know, because it's felt like such a long winter, and I feel like finally, finally getting somewhere. Maybe there's something in that. Okay, so this page that I'm on right now over on Creatively Conscious. So this is basically, I wanted to take you here because this is where I started. So I said to you that I came to Substack to write long form. So I came to Substack to write a blog essentially because the blog on my website was powered by WordPress and it was so messy and it kept like missing all the formatting, just going all over the place. You know, if I left it a week and went back, it would be all over the place and messy. So Substack is a really clean platform to use. So I thought, right, okay, I'll power my blog through Substack. I'll see what I think. And then very quickly, I realized that it would be a beautiful place to send my newsletter from. So I think after about 6 months of learning how to use the platform, I moved Notes from the Sea here and I started a section so that people could go back through. So these are all my seasonal Notes from the Sea, which I used to write monthly. And like I said, I've just stopped those. And so I always led with a photograph of the sea. So we live by the sea, we can see it from our window. Often we're at the beach. So it was easy for me to use one of my own photographs because I knew I would be able to source those quite quickly and easily. And that took out the headache of thinking, well, what image am I going to use? Obviously, I've shown you that Unsplash is there. For originality, get creative with your Unsplash searches. There's so much on there. You know, people tend to like quickly use the first one, but actually you can build up a real image bank that is akin to your style or think about it in a new way. And we talk about lots of this over in Sparkle on Substack in terms of the impact that it can have. So I'm a big fan of using, this is just iPhone photography. I'm a big fan of using my own photography. And it meets with the content, it meets with the essence of what I'm trying to say, but you don't have to, you know, especially when you're starting off, just make it easy for yourself. But it's going to pull through a social preview like this. And then when you click in, so this was sent as an email. And then these here, these are the little bits of things that happened in terms of reader engagement. So this is the likes. So we've compressed that. There we go, 45 now. And then these are the comments. So people wanted to write comments in response to the newsletter. I started it off with a quote. That always feels quite nice to me just to kind of frame it up. And then we go down and there's various things gone on in that newsletter. It's gone out. And then some ways that people can work with me at the bottom. And then here are some comments from my lovely community. So this has been building over time. I think there were just over 2,000 subscribers on this particular publication. And I do keep them separate because some of the people that are here aren't interested in my Substack teaching stuff. That's not what they're here to do. And some of them still read an email and they're not even on Substack and they're not planning to come to Substack. So it can do both things. This can go out to my email list for that original 350. You know, some of them are never coming to Substack and that's fine and they get that. And for others, they're on the Substack platform, they read this in the app or they go on the website to read it or they get it in their emails and then they head over to the app to comment. So there's lots of different ways with that. The good thing about writing something every month or every season is that you get into a bit of a cadence where it feels like a routine and it feels like something that feels expansive and possible to plug into your business. You get used to like what lands and where you might be able to kind of advertise other things that are going on, things that you might have to sell. Substack don't let sole product and service providers use this for product and service sales. So there's some small print that I can send you in follow-up. But if you've got an online shop, you have to do more than just come to Substack to sell stuff. They'll just take you platform down if you do that. So you have to come to want to write and to want to write to your readers. So there's this writer-reader relationship. You don't have to write long form. You can write short pieces. You can be powered by images. You can be powered by audio, by video. That's all possible, but you can't just use it as a sales platform because it'll just take you down. I just think it's worth mentioning in case anyone's wondering how that all works. There's a balance. As I showed you at the bottom of here, I've done some links to stuff that I've got for sale. Where was it? Somewhere. I did it. Yeah, ways for us to work together. There you go. So I've been doing that for 2 years and it's been totally fine. So yes, so that's notes from the sea. So I put them all in this collection, in this section, because that felt like a really nice thing to do. You don't have to do that. It'll give you the option. When you go onto your Substack website, you can choose how you want to organize that website. And we do lots of this over in the membership so people can get really clear on how a new subscriber is going to navigate their Substack website. So for me right now, I've taken that off. So when somebody lands here, that's not part of it anymore. That notes from the sea is kind of archived, if you like. So they don't see anywhere to click. They've got other things to click. Just going to move you guys over. So they've got the membership, they've got my creative projects, and then various other bits and bobs that people can have a look at. But I've organized it in a way that makes sense for me and my business right now. And I just wanted to, if you were like looking for it again, it's there, but it's not front and center anymore. We've just shifted that. Okay, so this is a post that I've set up for you guys. So we didn't get to this through the subscribers tab. We got to this through our writer dashboard. So that's the difference. And it looks the same as the first one that I showed you. And I've just done a little bit of writing and put one of my own images in there. You get given various different options in terms of subscriber buttons, and Substack will usually remind you to put one in. So it's really good to put a subscribe button in. They're all there. You can choose whatever you want to do. One of the big rules that I try and hone in on is that subscriber flow. So if you get to know your subscribers and your readers, and you're asking them to do 5 different things, which one are they going to do? And would it be easier if you just asked them to do one thing? So if this was for free subscribers and it was just literally an active service, I might say, leave a comment, and I might add that button. If it was for free subscribers, but I was hoping they might upgrade to paid subscribers, then I might put a little bit more information in about what I offer in the membership. And this button here, if you are a free subscriber, automatically changes to upgrade to paid. So you don't have to do anything. That would read to a free subscriber as upgrade to paid as an invitation. So yeah, there's nothing to do there. If they're not currently subscribed, so for example, if I share this link on my Instagram and somebody clicks on it from my Instagram stories, it'll give them the option to subscribe, and then it'll take them through the process. When they click that button, they'll always get taken to a page where they can choose what they want that to look like. So free is last in the list. So at first, I think people are like, wait, I have to pay to read it because free is last. But that's just Substack being like, look at all of this wonderful stuff that you can pay for. So the free always goes in last. So if you're sharing it on Instagram, if you've not quite made it to Substack yet, I have got some tips and I'll share more this week. But basically, people are so overwhelmed by what Substack is. So you've really got to guide them through. You've got to say, it's where I'm publishing my newsletter. It's where I'm publishing my blog, like whatever feels the right language for you. You don't have to pay. It's all free. You know, tell them what it is, like package that up for them, because if they get this, they're like, wait, what? Like, I just want to read something. I don't want to pay £110 to read a blog. Like, what even is this? I don't get it. So there's a bit of nurturing to do just to say, no, I've got a free thing. Also, you don't have to set up these paid tiers at all. Like, you know, you can just set up your Substack all free forever, infinite subscribers, no problem. I obviously run a newsletter business and a Substack education space, so that's all on there. Okay, so we'll go back to the post. So we've done that. We've decided, okay, we're ready to post it. What are our options around posting? So many of my members have been like, whoa, wait, I didn't know that was an option. It's all here. But again, Substack are just giving us so many options. People are like confused about what's what. So I have some options here. I can say that this post is for everyone. That's going to send it to everyone in my subscriber list. So it's going to send it to my free, my paid, my comps, and my founding members. Obviously, I could just go free subscribers. So if it was a push to get free to paid, then that's a good option to use. So say it's for free, and then it's going to ask where it belongs. And I've got various sections set up, so I can choose my section. And then just let me scroll down a second. I think it's because this is stuck. 2 seconds. I'll just see if I can. There we go. It's going to ask me if I want to add any tags. I talk about these more over in the Sparkle membership. There are various different ways to organize your Substack homepage, and tags is one of them. So I'll not go into it today because we're short on time. Let me move this little box. There we go. And then it's going to say, do I want to send via email and the Substack app, or schedule a time to publish? And then hang on a second, I'll just go back out of it there because it's not bringing up the other options. Maybe it's because I need to press everyone. Okay, that's fine. So here in delivery, if we don't tick this button, can you see how it says publish now? So we're going to be publishing it to the Substack website, but we're not going to be emailing it everywhere. So I've done various tests on this over the years, and usually if I don't tick any of this and just press publish now, I'll get maybe about 300 reads on a post. If I say yes, send via email in the Substack app, not only do my email subscribers get it, but then Substack push it out further than that. So sometimes one post can get, 4,000 or 5,000 views. Really does Substack push it out much, much further, depending on obviously what your engagement's like and all that sort of thing. But that's where the new subscribers come from, because they're already on Substack. They get what it is. So you haven't got to work as hard as you would on other platforms to explain what Substack is, to explain what your newsletter is. If someone on Substack reads your post and likes it, then they're going to subscribe. And that's where I've built my mailing list, obviously, all the way through Substack in this short amount of time, this 2 years, to 7,000 readers. Just blows my mind. Anyway, so then you also have the option to schedule. So you can schedule at a date in the future. It's going to give you lots and lots of options there. So you can get all organized and then see your scheduled posts. And so those are your 2 options there with delivery. So if you send that one, it's going to go to everyone and Substack's going to push it out further. You can schedule it, that's fine. If you don't tick that one, then it's only going to post it to your Substack website. Any questions, just start putting them in the chat, because I want to try and leave a little bit of time for questions at the end as well. Okay, we don't need that. Let's just go back a step. I just want to show you. There we go. So in your writer dashboard here, these are my drafts. This is what's been published. And then obviously if I had any scheduled, I would have this morning, but it went out. So yeah, this is where everything is. So you can build up a bit of a bank of, okay, I'm going to write this out and it's going to save to draft. It saves automatically, so you don't have to find a save button anywhere. Anything you're writing, so even that one I've just worked on for you guys, it'll be saved there now. Here it is. And then you can go back in and edit those, and you would just go back in like this and then decide whether you're going to send it out anywhere. So that's where that is. And then if we go back to the home page, so this is our dashboard. I'm not going to talk over all of this today because I don't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to show you what to do. But further down here, you can see how the open rates are looking. So I'm just going to move this little captions box again. So this is the recent post, and then it's showing you what's going on. So this one, yeah, so that seems really high views because this was just for paid subscribers. So paid subscribers, I've got 51 paid subscribers on this particular publication. So to get over 1,000 views, the reason there's no new subs on there is because there wasn't really much for them to see. So there wasn't enough for them to see, but interesting that they're clicking on. I'll go into view all and I'll show you. I'm just an open book about Substack stuff. I really don't mind showing you this stuff. So this one here, 37% opened in email, and then 1,700 people viewed it, and it drove 10 new subscriptions.
This one here was a big invitation for International Women's Day, and it drove 35 new subscriptions. It has slightly higher open rate, but you can see Substack's pushed it out to over 3,000 more people. So that's where the balance piece comes in for you guys around how you feel. Like, do you want your words out in the world, and do you want them to be pushed at a time where it's possible to grow on Substack and where there are people looking for pieces to read and people to connect to? Or do you just want to use it as a space to send newsletter to the people that you've got? You can import your subscribers from any platform, it's no problem. You just use the CVS file and upload it. And you can also send them a happy little welcome email to say, I'm writing to you from Substack now, nothing's changed. It's just I've changed my mailing list provider, if that's what you want to do. So yeah, okay, let me just get us back over here to Sparkle. I'm just going to check my notes pages. Yes, okay, that was it. So if you are thinking about how, when people find you on Substack, they're going to connect to what it is that you do, you might want to use pages. So you can get to those in your writer dashboard settings. And this right here is a page. It's called Brand New to Substack ? Because this is a lot of the emails that I field from people when they're just brand new. And I'm like, look, I've got this whole page for you. So I wrote this page. And nobody can comment on this. So you can like it and you can restack it, which means it goes into social media, Substack social media feed, but it is just a page, like a web page. And you design it the same way that you would your post or your email. It's really, really easy. You can drag a PDF into there, which I've done. You can hyperlink things. You can add in lovely page breaks like I do, images, all that stuff, but it's a page. So it doesn't get emailed anywhere, and yet you don't have people comment on it. It doesn't get sent anywhere, but you've got the URL. So if, for example, you wanted to have a page on Substack that listed your services, for example, say you didn't have those on your website for whatever reason, then you would get this URL, design your page, put it where you want to put it, and you've got this URL to then add into your newsletter whenever you want to do that, either via a hyperlink, or obviously you could like attach it to an image or whatever else. You can put Canva images in here. You can go to town. I've got to sit on my hands a bit because I just want to tell you everything, but I'm not going to overwhelm you in this masterclass. I'm going to leave a few minutes for questions, but that's what a page is. So just to recap again, we've talked about 3 different things in the main here. We've talked about how to send an email to people, which won't get posted to Substack. We've talked about how to post to Substack, but not email it out. And then obviously you can do the same thing, and you do that in that same way with those little check boxes. And then that'll get emailed out and it'll get posted here. And a little bit about pages and how to organize your Substack web page. What I would say is, obviously I've been here a long time, so this is very full, but people are used to, seeing 1 and 2 posts, like, I'm getting ready, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, I'm here, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. Take your readers with you on the journey. They love it. So anyone that's new that finds you, anyone who is finding you for the first time, if you've got some sort of place that you can send them when they first arrive so they feel a little bit more connected to you. So I've got various different things that I do to help people feel more at home, and they work really, really well. I run communities on Substack and I send emails through it. So think about what you want it to be for you. Do you want people to reply to your newsletter? Are you happy for it to go out via email? Do you want to build community? Are you curious about offering a paid space or a paid membership? There's all the options. Okay, so let me get to see if there are any questions in the chat, and I can answer those before we go. Okay, how do you create a page? Yeah, so it's in your settings, in your writer dashboard settings. Let me quickly show you before we go. And I didn't, oh, this is going to go in the wrong one. There we go. So this is partly why I didn't want to take you here, because this adds to the overwhelm. Like, this is a big long page of different settings and options that we've got on Substack, but it's here. And the easiest way to find it is just type in page and it should come up. Did that work? Yeah, somewhere around here. Yeah, so in website, which they call that your Substack website, you want to go new page, and then you're going to be able to build your page there. So if I click that, this is what I mean. So the builder is the same, whether it's a post, an email, or a page. So it's really, really easy to build beautiful pages and write beautiful posts, or really just simplistic ones. Obviously, I've chosen this oatmeal color for my Substack, but you've got a whole range of different things that you can do. This is why I'm doing the challenge, because I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed, but I'm going to send some tips, and we're going to just work through like a 10-point checklist to set up our homepage in a way that we feel really happy with it in the next 30 days. So Steph says, how can you tell if you're sending out a post as a newsletter or just for the post to stay on Substack? So that's when you come to your writer dashboard, and then you're going to decide whether you're going to post it or whether you're going to tick the email box to email it and send it out via the Substack app. So we've covered it in the class. So the first one was to just send it as an email, and that's where you've got to go to your subscribers and you've got to check the subscribers, or check the boxes of all of those subscribers, or however you want to organize it. But for the most part, you would just be, let me go back on here. You would just be going into new post there. And then obviously when you've done that, let's see if we've still got this open anywhere. Yeah, when you've done that, oh no, that's the wrong one. That's not going to help. When you've written your post, basically, I'll just do it again really quickly for you. Is it going to let me do it? Yes, okay. Then you're going to press continue, and then you're going to be here. So it's this one. So if you're sending it via email on the Substack app, you have that box checked. If you're not, then you don't. It just publishes to Substack. If you're emailing them, you've got to do it from subscribers. You can't do it from here. I know it's not as clear as it should be, but blame Substack, not me. Isabel says, how do you create a PDF download link? I've searched and searched for this. So over on Sparkle, obviously, I just clicked through to it. And all I did for this, so this is a PDF here. Substack, get set up and go paid checklist. And all I did was I dragged the PDF from my desktop into the post. There we go. And then it just magically turns into a downloadable link. That's how to do it. There's not another way that I know. It's a drag and drop, guys. That's what we do. Alicia says, do you recommend niche Substack, or we can talk about multiple subjects? So I got a deep breath for that one. So as a multi-hyphen, I love to celebrate all of the different things that I do in life. So this is why I've ended up with multiple Substacks, but it's because I want to talk about my creative projects, and I also want to talk about my wholehearted life, you know, self-seeded business stuff. So that's all on there. So it's still me. And I think this is what I mean about taking the readers with you. So as long as you're taking the readers with you, but you definitely don't have to niche the same way that you would be used to sort of setting up a niche on Instagram, something that I never did. And I think probably why I never grew on Instagram when people were like growing, they were like, don't understand what Claire does. So many people have said that to me over the years, although not on Substack. It's very clear on Substack, apparently. Yeah, so it can feel nice to start within a niche because that feels safe, but you can really do anything that you want, you know. So people write personal essays, people write opinion pieces, people have guest posts come on, people do collaborations. There's so much to do. It's a bit like old school blogging. People have like referenced it as old school blogging. So you can just talk about what you want to talk about, like where things are landing in your life. If you go over into the explore page of Substack, you'll see a lot of different categories, from literature to crypto to education, parenting, and you can have a look at the different Substacks that are out there. In the masterclass, that you get when you sign up to Sparkle as a free subscriber, I do kind of go through a few other people's Substacks just to say, this person writes here, this person writes here. So some of my favorites are Emma Gannon, Beth Kempton, Elizabeth Gilbert. They're all on here. We're all having a lovely time on Substack. So Ali says, what do you think of bilingual Substacks? Yes, they're amazing, and I'm seeing more of them. So what you want to do is you want to set up a separate section for your second language, and because Substack was set up in America in 2017, it's mainly English speaking people, readers that are here, but not all. And so what I've advised with a couple of my one-to-one clients is just to separate it out. So they've got a separate section so they can be building up their Swedish speaking readers, for example, at the same time as being able to communicate with the people that are already on here that are English speakers. So it's massive in America. It came to the UK just a couple of years ago when I joined, and that's been snowballing, and it's big in Australia and New Zealand now. So my biggest readership is in America, actually, and then second is the UK. So, and then I do have some from various different places in Europe, which is so nice to see. So there's a lady called Farah Store, and she is the head of UK and European partnerships for Substack, and she's great too. So she does free masterclasses. I think she's just delivered one, so you might learn some more signing up to that one. Create a page. I've done that. Okay. Oh, so yeah, the Canva. Okay, so the page break, this heart one. This is called a page break, and it's just an image that I made in Canva. So when you sign up to Sparkle, I've given you the template with 108 designs, I think it is. Just went to town a little bit. And you can change the colors, you can change the size, you can do anything you want. You can have rabbits, Easter eggs, whatever you want. And it just breaks the page up a little bit. It's something that I really like as a design feature. Because I've got this green and pink within the logo, and I also use this page break on Creatively Conscious, so it's a sort of seamless branding between the two spaces. But yeah, you can have lots of fun with that. It's a Canva template. So you might need professional Canva to view some of the images, because if I've obviously chosen them and it's pro Canva, then that's how it works. So Crystal says, I'm always boggled by what the ideal aspect ratio is on the thumbnail post. On desktop, it's similar to 4:3, and on it's square, I think. Yeah, it's a curious one. So with this, I always do a Google search and then Substack, aspect ratio thumbnails, and then I get them from the Substack source, because I think then you've at least got what Substack tell you to do. I know with me, it's been a little bit of trial and error, and for the most part, it works really well. So yeah, I'm not a designer in that way. So I think I'd struggle to answer it more than just Google what Substack tell you to do and try that. Okay. So Alicia says, started my Substack to build my community and reconnect with my writing. I was to detach from data what I want to talk about, subject to that, I'm afraid. Yeah. So I think there's this real sense of the internet. The internet is just massive, isn't it? It just feels so huge. And so one of the things that I've always said to my members is write 3 people down, 3 people's names, 2 of them online and 1 of them in real life. Write everything that you know about them and then write your newsletter for them. I did this for years. So when I sat down and I used to get all of those voices, and until I'd worked through all of my mindset stuff around what was going on for me, and I'd honed this craft and I'd brought this confidence to the keys, it was really about, okay, if I'm just writing for those 3 people, and those 3 people who are so supportive of my work and want to know all of this stuff that I'm writing, because that voice that goes, nobody cares, nobody's bothered that you're saying whatever. And it changed it all for me. And the reason it's 3 is because there's a variety there. So instead of getting locked on to talking to just one person, you've got the balance. So try and make it balanced. Try and think about that. And if there is this voice coming in, I'll go soon, but I'll leave you with this because I think it's really, really poignant. And especially it can be really poignant as women. Not just women, but I do think that there's part of us where it's like, we're not allowed, we can't take up space in this way, or we'll be frowned upon, or we'll be judged. And there's something in just being able to come to the keyboard and know that you're safe and realize whose voice that is. So sometimes when I'm doing this deep work with clients, they're like, oh, that's an old teacher. That's an old teacher that's saying that in that way to me. And other people are like, that's my brother? Is that my brother saying that? Why is my brother saying that horrible? And they love their brother and they have this really good relationship, but there's somewhere within their psyche where it just doesn't feel safe. And part of the craft of writing and working through some of these kind of blocks of pressing post or pressing email helps with this stuff. But it is deep work. I do honestly think that. I do think that we're being asked to do a lot. It's very exposing. It can feel very exposing. So we need to have our cheerleaders in our pocket, and we need to be writing to our 3 faves. Okay, lovely. Okay. Oh, thanks for answering that for Karina. That's great. Section. Yes, section. So I've got all of this over in Sparkle. So I've been teaching Substack on Sparkle on Substack since June last year. We've covered everything in the members sessions, and it's all there for you. There's also a Substack course that I made. So it's a drip-fed course. There's no live sessions because I do the Sparkle calls twice a month from our members. So people get to ask questions. We work on the stuff that they want to work on, and they're framed up with joyful, sustainable growth. So the idea is that people are coming to the page for personal growth, for numerical growth, for growing their profile. There's loads of different things going on for them. And my members are just having a really lovely time connecting with each other. So there are lots of different options, and I'm just going to outline some of them when I send the replay round, so you guys will all get that. But I've gone a few minutes over, so I will say bye. But it's been so lovely to spend some time with you this afternoon. Thanks for popping in on your Easter weekend. And if you do need anything and anything's not clear, either when you come over to Sparkle and subscribe as a free subscriber or a member, then just drop me an email, send me a DM, drop me an Instagram. I'm available to chat, and I'd love to help you more. I'm so passionate about this work. I just think that it's such a brilliant time on Substack, and we're seeing growth like you wouldn't see on any other platform. So let's go. I will see you all really soon. Thanks again.